Good morning, this is Joe Inman with See the Vision. This morning, as I was drinking my coffee, we got it right here, got my morning mug, and I was doing my devotional time, the Lord just impressed in my heart something that I wanted to share. I think of Peter many times. I was asked the question one time, if I could be any disciple, who would it be? And my answer during that time period was Peter. And it was Peter after he come to the knowledge and grace of God. Because even though Peter had messed up so many times, even in his own ministry, and had failed God so many times, I can relate with Peter. But something about Peter that I absolutely love. We know the story when he had asked Christ to come out the water, when Jesus was walking on the water. And Peter, in his cockiness, said, if that be you, bid me to come out to you. And Christ had come. Peter took a couple steps out on the water and he started to walk, and he got so sidetracked with the things that was going around that he started to go down and yelled out for Christ to help him. And we all get into that area to where we look around us instead of looking straight in front of us, where we are so busy seeing the things and the circumstances that's around us, the issues that's around us, we forget that Jesus Christ is right in front of us, willing and ready to take care of our problems. Well, if we go to Acts chapter 12, verse 8, this is when Peter was thrown into jail again. And the first time, of course, a great miracle had happened. God had moved in and said, and took care of it and had him released. But this time, Peter was in the inner cell. He was down at the very bottom. He was between two guards. The next day, the plan was to kill Peter. And here's what I like when you find this in Acts chapter 12, is that Peter was asleep. Not only was he asleep, but he had, when the angel come up in verse 8 to wake him, the angel literally had to smote him and said, "Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals." So he had taken his shoes off, he had taken his jacket off, he was comfortable. This is a man that knew the next day, or was told the next day, that he was going to be killed. He was sleeping between two guards in the inner prison, down depth in the inner prison, and God moved. This man was so secure in his rest and his relationship with God, he slept even though facing death the next day. This is a big difference in Peter, from the Peter that walked on water, that looked around at the circumstances and lost sight of what God had, to the man who had grown maturely in God, and even though in prison, facing death, sleeping between two guards, he was sleeping sound enough that an angel had to hit him. He was sleeping sound enough that, and in the peace of God enough, that he walked out the doors, or the angel led him out the doors, out of the gate, and he didn't wake up really until he was out of the gate. Now, for a lot of us, we may have to do a lot of growing in that area. But here's what I want to get at today. God is patient, God is wise, God is knowing, and God has a direction for you in your life. You may be the Peter that walked on water right now. But I'm going to tell you, as long as you seek, as long as you strive, as long as you continue moving forward with God, you'll be that Peter that's laying in the prison asleep, not worried about your circumstances anymore, not worried about the things that are failing you, not worrying about what argument you and your spouse got into, not worrying about the bills, not worrying about whatever is out there. I mean, there's going to be a little worry, absolutely, but your main focus will be on what God has for you, and the direction and the path and the ministry that God has for you. That's where our focus needs to lie. Our time is short, brother and sister. It's very short, and we need to get in there and say, God, I'm going to serve you. I'm going to do what you want me to do. I have questions, and I'm sure many of you have had this asked to you. What about those people in foreign countries that never hear about Jesus Christ? I want to ask this question. What about those people who are called to that ministry that never get there? That's so damaging. You have a call in your life. You have a ministry. The Bible says it is wise to win souls. That means that's everybody. It didn't say this person, this person. It says it's wise. That's for everybody. But we have to get out of that point of being that Peter that's walking on water, and being that Peter that's lying in the jail cell. So here's real quick. I just want you to know that God is on your side, and he's waiting for us to be that Peter. And it takes time and it takes growth. But God's willing to be that patient, that graceful, just like he was with Peter. God bless.